Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Dino from the Flintstones. For this pattern, you're going to need a couple of black bands and a pair of scissors, a couple of bands or beads for the eyes. I'll be using small pony beads, and the pupils are drawn on using a Sharpie. You can do this, draw them on after the fact. I am going to use a small gold bead on the collar, where you can use a gold band, and one turquoise band for the collar. Any shade of purple you like for the body, and you can use the skin tone pink or a pink band for the mouth and the face. And lastly, in terms of colors, I'm going to use 3 black round beads. For the spots, you can use black bands or other beads of your choice. So we will want a couple of holding hooks, a couple of C-clips, your loom in the offset configuration, and I'm going to be using dental floss to thread on my beads onto my bands. So I think we're ready to start. We're going to make the arms and legs first, and I'm going to use a method that I saw on Loombitious Designs. So for the toes, we take a single purple, and you put it on the second peg from the bottom of the loom, twist it onto the bottommost peg, twist it around again, and bring it back over that second peg from the bottom. So we have kind of an X cross underneath, and the top is just straight across. And then we want to go to the side and take the bottom layer, so the crossed one, and pull it over. And pull it over from each of the pegs. And then you're just going to take this and grab it and put it on your hook. And we're going to make a total of 3 for each hand. So let's finish up our first arm first. We're going to do a second little finger here. And we're doing the same thing. And I'll show you one more time, and then we'll continue to the arm. So take your single on the second peg from the bottom, twist it around to the bottommost peg, twist it again, and pull it back over both of those pegs, back upwards. And we're going to reach inside. So underneath the bottom band on the second peg from the bottom band on the bottommost peg, and we're going to take the bottom bands, pull them over, and I feel like I'm confusing you more explaining this than actually showing it, but hopefully you stuck with me and you've got your 3 toes. And from here we are going to put this onto 3 sets of double purple bands. So take 2 bands together, put them on the end of your hook, and slide all of your little toe pieces or arm finger pieces on. And take another 2 and slide the bands from your hook onto those bands. And we need 4 more sets, and then we'll make our other arm in the same way in just a minute. It's our 3rd set, our 4th set, our 5th set, and our 6th set. And I'm just going to put this onto a second hook so it's out of the way here. You can leave it where it is if it's not bothering you. We're going to make another arm the same way. So our 3 fingers, take your single, twist it over those bottom 2 pegs, twist it around again so that we have an untwisted one on the top. We're going to pull the bottom band over. This is like what we do on the monster tail. And grab the band, put it onto your hook, and 2 more of those. Suppose you could do this on the monster tail too if that was your preference and you had one handy, but this works just very well actually. I like watching the other loomers sometimes, and then I get some ideas, and really a lot of clever people out there. Alright, so we have our 3 fingers ready, and we're going to put that onto 6 sets of double bands again. Transfer it from your hook onto the first 2, We want to make sure this all slides nicely, then we'll know we have the right ones. The second set. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's put this onto our next hook. And we're going to do another 3 toes to go with our first leg. If you want to make them all at once, you can do that. This I find at least breaks things up a little bit, so we're not doing a bunch of the same things at once. And sometimes I do it that way, but we're just going to go with it and do things kind of in order here. Okay, second toe. Just watch you're getting the bottom one each time. And last one. Now if you, maybe I'll make a note if you have another way that you'd like to make the toes or the foot, if you just want to wrap a couple bands together. That's totally cool. This just gives it a little more definition, I think. We're going to put this onto 5 sets of 3 bands. So take 3 bands together, put them on the end of your hook, and bring your toes over. Put the other end back. And another time, 3 bands together, end of your hook, slide it over. And we want to do this 3 more times. So 3 bands, pull it over, 3 bands, and one more time, 3 more bands. If you're trying to save some bands, you can keep this at 2. The idea though is to give them a thicker look. And we're going to put this onto 2 sets of double bands. So 2 bands, put it on the end of your hook and slide over, and 2 bands again. And that's one of our legs. We'll put this on the hook and just, you want to do this in such a way that you remember which was which. Your legs are going to be a little thicker and a little longer. But if you're worried about getting them confused, then by all means place them somewhere separately, or mark it down or whatnot. And the last 3 toes for our last leg. It's 1, 2, and 3. Oops. Sometimes the bottom one tries to sort of sneak on top there. And this goes on to 5 sets of 3 bands, 3 bands each. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all onto 2 sets of double bands. And I'll put that with my other leg. And we're going to thread on our little beads or buttons next. So if you're using black bands, what you'll do is take a black band, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times on your hook, and slide it onto a purple band. And you can just let it sit like that. If you're using beads and they have a larger hole, you can put it directly onto your hook and transfer it. And if you're using beads with a smaller hole, you can put your floss through, and then through a purple band, a body colored band, bring your thread or floss back over and back through the bead from the opposite direction. Slide it till it's at the middle, and we're going to put that aside and make 2 more. And I'll make a note as well here. This is a technique I picked up from watching Isalicious Designs with Kate Schultz, which is also a fabulous channel. So let's make 2 more of these and they'll be at the ready. If you want to have more spots or spots on both sides, feel free to do some extras. And if you don't want any at all, that's fine too. You can loom and place your bands in exactly the same way and just not include the black ones. And I'll be showing you where these go in just a little bit. Let's, trying to get off, nope. That one almost slipped through. One more time. There we go. Okay, so I've got 3 of those at the ready. And our neck, we're gonna put down 3 bands on the loom from the top center peg to the second peg down in the center, and repeat that once below. 3 more bands from the second peg in the center to the third peg in the center. We're gonna come down 2 more times with double purple bands from the third to the fourth peg and the fourth to the fifth peg. And actually, let's keep going until we reach the bottom of the loom there. Double bands. We'll get our sides set up in just a minute. Alright, so we've reached the bottom. We're going to come back up and we're going to go to the third peg down in the middle and reach from there to the fourth peg down on the side. So we're not going directly diagonally to the next peg, but we're going down to the one below that. And now on either side we can place double bands starting at the fourth peg down all the way to the bottom of the loom. Almost there, a couple more to go. Alright, so let's just count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just double check this. 3, 4. Alright, so we're going to go to the bottom of the loom on the right side and count up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And this will take us to we're going to take the bands off of the fourth peg from the bottom, lift off one of the bands that's going from the fifth peg from the bottom to the fourth peg from the bottom, and lay across one of the bands that has the black beads on it. And then you can replace the bands onto that fourth peg. We're going to do a side chain next for, yeah, we'll do our arms after. Let's do a side chain next for the left side, the closer side. And for that, we are going to take a single band, wrap it once and twice so that you will see 3 loops. And this is going to go onto 4 sets of double purple bands. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is going to reach up until the 6th peg. We're going to put this on the 6th peg down. So it's 2 bands under where your arm is going to sit. That just popped right off. Let's fix that up, try that again. Just check this here. This doesn't look right. Oh, that's 7. I wrote a 7, not 4. No wonder it looked so sharp. Let's add 3 more then. So 3 more sets of double bands, so that's going to be 7. I was thinking, how could that possibly stretch there? I was reading my 7 as a 4. Sorry guys, this will work a lot better. Glad we caught that and weren't trying to stretch this all the way down. Now we can put this on the 6th peg down. Get your cap band, the first band that you wrapped it onto, it's sitting right at the end, and place it onto the bottommost peg. This is going to round out his body a little, and since we don't want the whole piece stretching to the side like you see here, what you want to do is get your hook and grab a little piece, one band here, one loop out of each chain, and pull it over the corresponding pegs. So each chain you'll take a piece and pull it under the closest peg. You want to try and get either, like you want to try and get them close to the bottom, and if you're getting them all from the side, then get them all from the side. Like you wouldn't want to grab the band out here and pull it around, because then you're going to have a really twisted, messy piece. And we are going to make something similar for the opposite side. Okay, so we'll do a wrapped band on 3 sets of double bands. Take off one end, take off the other end, put on the band that has the bead on it, put on the chain, pull the band with the bead over, put the band with the bead back, the chain piece back, and pull the band with the bead over. And then we'll do another chain. And let's check our numbers one more time before we add our next one. I had this written down and then I lost the paper, I'm afraid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do another one. This will be our 5th set of double bands. Just take it off for a minute and we're gonna put on the band with the bead, pull it over the chain band, put the band with the bead on again, onto your hook again, the chain band's on, pull the band with the bead over the other 2, and then we're going to take another 2 bands. You can play around with where you want these on the chain if you want them to sit differently, and I'm just going to start putting this on and see that this lines up nicely still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's put one more. And then we will attach this the same way that we did the chain on the other side. So this will go onto the 6th peg down. Your bottom cap band will go onto the bottommost peg, and we're just going to pull a section from each chain over into the middle here. What I actually want to do is kind of take the bands that have the beads on them and secure those in as well, so that they don't really flop about too much. Okay. Whew, there, we got through that. Let's put on our arms. Those are the shorter ones. They're going onto the 4th pegs down. And for our legs, you're going to take both of them together and put them onto 1 or 2 bands. It's up to you. I'm going to use 2. Slide them on top, and these are going to span all of the bottommost bands, pegs I mean. So it goes across from the bottom side to the bottom side. And then we're going to get our hook, our hook between the legs and pull the band that they're on until it's sitting on top of the bottom center peg. And this way it works as a kind of a cap. We're almost on the body, we just need to add our holding bands. And you can use single bands or double bands. I'm gonna double mine over, make this a little bit tighter. So, and you can also, if you want, just have the upper body tight or just the lower body tight. So let's take a single, twist it, put it back onto itself, nice and tight. And this will go across, let's start up here. Your 4th center peg and your 4th side pegs. It's going to make a little triangle. Let's do this again across all of your 5th pegs down. Single, doubled over, twisted, and we'll do this until we reach the bottommost pegs, which we don't need to cover again because we have the triangle band that's holding the legs there. couple more to go. So you'll stop when you get, when you've covered the second pegs from the bottom. These are all triangle formation here. Last one. And we're ready to loop up. So let's start in the center, and we're going to stop when we get to the fourth peg, or about the fourth peg from the top. And you want to go right to the bottom of the loom, find your bottom two bands from inside that first peg there and bring them forward, and we can just loop ahead. Grab two each time and watch out for your holding bands. I'm just holding the top part of my loom down, partly because it's a little bit springy and weak here, but also it gives me some more control. We're going to go to the side, and you see you have a lot of bands here, but what we're looking for are the bottom bands that are coming from the peg above. You're going to face the open part of your hook away from you, push back the top bands, catch those bottom two, and bring them over to the peg above. Let's continue looping up this way. You can always, if you need to, use your hook or your fingers and pull the bands to the side to see them better, or re-angle your loom. We'll do this until we hit the fourth peg from the top where the arms are sitting. And then from under the arms, we want to go inside and get the bands that are coming diagonally from the second peg down in the center. We'll pull those up, and I'm gonna loosen some of these bands on the side. It's kind of tight here. You don't have to do this, you can do this after if you want. We're gonna loop up the other side, bottom two bands only. See, and you thought this part was gonna be hard and scary. This actually is not too crazy, considering that we're using so many bands of the same color. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't be concentrating here. That's how I slip my bands. Try that again. Oh, bother. I'm going to have to pull these ones to the side, separate them a little, and then I'll be able to reach them better. So I had a little hitchhiker there, another band tried to come along with me. You can leave the black bands where they are, just loop the bands that they are on. Black bands or beads. Come up to the arm again. Two bands each time, and then find the two which are coming diagonally from the top, or from the center. Those are the bottommost pegs, bottommost bands on the peg. And now we're going to come to the fourth peg down in the center and loop up. Get your next three and loom those forward, and get your last three and loom those to the top. And we can take this off the loom, hold on to your top peg bands. I feel my loom just wants to snap apart here. There's a lot of tension, but it'll be relieved right away. If you have any loose bands, try and grab them quickly and tuck them in, lube them in, put them on a C-clip before they get to be a problem. We're going to put our hook through the bands in the top center peg and carefully take off the rest. You want to find the side, the correct side, push your beads through, or turn it around if you want them to be facing the opposite direction, which I almost want to do now. I feel like these aren't showing as much on the side that I wanted them to. It's okay, we'll just pop them through a bit more. Maybe this way. You can see I missed looping up one band there. I was kind of going in a rush. At any rate, you can press your bands through to where you want them to sit. And beads your bands. I did my single looping the first time, that might be why these are sticking a bit, but regardless, I'll fix that shortly and we can start on the face. This is gonna bug me. I'm trying to pop it through on top there. There we go. Okay. Anyways, let's come to our loom, and we're gonna do the layout for the jaw. We're gonna take a pink or a skin tone pink, and we are using double bands, and we are gonna come down. You can just come to about the third peg from the bottom here, or even the second peg down is fine. Second to third peg from the bottom, and place down 2 bands, 2 on the opposite side, 2 from the second peg from the bottom on the side to the bottom peg in the middle. Repeat that coming from the other side. 2 pegs down in the middle, starting at the second peg from the bottom. We're gonna do a doubled over single across to cap it, and this will come across your second pegs from the bottom on one side to the other, and then we want to do a cap on the top. So go to the bottommost peg on the center and wrap a single 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And we're going to loop this up and just transfer my body onto another hook. Okay, come under that cap band on the bottom center peg, loop up the top 2 forward, and the next 2 to the left side, and the last 2 to the opposite side, and then we're going to come to those second pegs from the bottom and just loop forward until you're at the third peg from the bottom. And you want to put your hook through from the top, through the one on the far side, through the bands on the center peg, and through the bands sitting loose on the close side. And you can kind of adjust this and just leave this on your hook for a minute, and we'll proceed right away. Let's go back to our loom, and we'll work on the head now. So we're going to start with the body color, the purple that you used. Come down with double bands from the top center to the top right, double bands from the top center to the top left, and double bands of purple on each of your rows coming down once. Let's switch to the pink that you used for your jaw that you want for your lower face. Again, I'm using a darker pink here, but you might want to use the skin tone pink, which is what I did in my original. And we're going to come down twice on either side with double bands, and 3 times in the center with double bands. This is all starting at the second peg down. I'll pull this up for you right away. And take 2 bands from your 4th side to your 5th center, and come down from the opposite side, 4th side to 5th center, another 2 pink bands. We are going to put on our doubled over holding band of pink across your 4th pegs down, nice and tight. And let's do actually we're going to use our eyes for our next one. Let's do a purple holding band across the second pegs down, and you can double that over if you want, or leave it the way it is. Either is okay. For the eyes, if you're using bands, you're going to take the color of your eyes, whatever that might be, wrap one band 1, 2, 3 times, and a second 1, 2, 3 times, and pull both of these onto a pink band. If you are using beads with a smaller hole, you can thread them on the way that I showed you with the black beads. And if you have beads with a larger hole, you can put them on your hook and transfer them directly to your pink band. The band is going to go from your 3rd peg on the side to your 3rd peg down on the other side. We're going to get our hook between and separate it so that one side of the band is going to be on the 3rd peg down in the center, and the other will be on the 4th peg down in the center. And this also works as a holding band. So this is just about it. We're ready to put let's put our body on. Take the 6 bands that are on, or 6 loops that are on your hook, and put them onto your 5th center peg down. And we're going to reach up reach inside, and we're gonna go under the neck, find the top 2 bands and pull them to the side. This is going to the right side in my case. The next 2 go to the left side. And the last 2 are gonna go upwards. There should be no more pinks under the body attachment. And from here, we're gonna loop up once on either side, bottom 2 bands. And we're gonna loop up one more time in the center, so from the 4th peg down, oops, they're all coming off, to the 3rd peg down. And then we're going to get our jaw, and we want to transfer. There are 12 bands here, 3 groups of 4. We want to put the side ones on the 3rd pegs down on either side, and the middle 4 are going to go onto the middle 3rd peg down. You want to try to put them all on in the same, like going from the same direction here if you can, because we took them off the loom in the same direction in the first place. If you find they're slipping off and you want to loom them in sooner, you can do that as well. And the last one. Okay, let's go in under that 3rd peg down on the side, find the bottom 2 and loop forward once. Next bottom 2, loop forward to the top. Middle, let's loop forward once. And then the side, let's go up 2 times, bottom 2 only. And I'm gonna choose, just by choice here, I'm gonna loop my sides in to the top center, and then I'm gonna come back to the 2nd peg down in the center and loop that last one forward. We're gonna take a purple band, get it ready, put your hook through all of the bands on the top center peg. Grab your securing band. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's use black for that. That's how we're gonna do our hair. So we're gonna do this a little differently because he has got black hair. Let's take a single black, slide it through all of the bands on the top center peg, put one side over the other to create a slip knot, and we're gonna do this 2 more times, and then we'll have a couple of hair pieces. And one just to secure. You can make his hair thicker if you want, but this is probably the amount that we're looking for is 3. And last one. One side over the other, pull it tight, and we can carefully take this off of the loom. I can't believe I almost forgot that. Let's press the eyes through to the front, and you can draw on pupils if you have used beads and need pupils still. We're going to take one of our black bands and hide it in the back on a C-clip. So I'm just going to put my hook under a nearby band, pull the black band under, and pop it onto that C-clip. You can weave it in further if you want to. I'm going to take my gold bead now, or you can use a gold band and wrap it onto your hook and transfer it onto a turquoise band. Once more, you can use any of the methods that I've shown you already. We're going to hold on to one side and take the other side, put it right over Dino's head. So it sits around his neck, and you're going to take your hook, reach through from the back, kind of get right in the middle of the neck here, right at the bottom of the neck. Sort of a V here we want to get inside of. Take the band that has the bead on it and pull that to the back with you. And you can kind of press that into place, and this you can weave right up to the same hook that you have already on, or add another holding hook if you want. I'm just going to add another holding hook, I think. Holding C-clip. Really not at my best today here, but we're getting through this. Okay, press your eyes through a little more, make any adjustments you want, and then we will secure the legs in place and make the tail. So for the legs, you can see they're sort of floppy right now. What we want to do is move them up to the side and bend them downwards again. So it's like a little, he's going to make a little M when it's all done. You're going to put your hook through the back of the leg while it's in this position. And you can take a band that's sitting on the back, because you're going to go through the back too, or take another purple band and we're going to slide it back through. Just turning this over for a better grip. Put one end over the other and we can make a slip knot here. This is going to go onto a C-clip. And we're going to do the same for the other leg in just 1 second. Okay. So you're going to raise it up, sort of pinch it, pull it down again, and then you're going to put your hook through from the back so that it's sitting in this position. And through a piece in the back, grab a purple band, pull it through all of those. You might want to pull over a couple at a time or do it slowly, or maybe just have it under one band of each section. Put the other end on, one side over the other. We've got a slip knot and we're going to weave this in a little bit. So what we do is we go under a nearby band, pull the further one over the closer one, go by a nearby band, pull the further one over a closer one. We can keep doing this until we can comfortably reach our C-clip. Or you can just use a separate C-clip if you really want to make it easier. So that is that. And last thing is our tail. Our tail's not too bad. We're going to take 2 purple bands, wrap them on our hook. 1, 2, 3 times. And we're going to put this onto 2 bands. And onto another 2. Onto a doubled over single. Onto 3 sets of 3 bands. So grab 3 together. Put them on the end of your hook, slide your tail end over. The reason we did that doubled over one was to give it a little bit of a bend. This is our second set with 3, and we have a third set with 3 bands in it. And then we're going to put this onto 4 bands, take 4 bands together, and slide this on top. One more set of 4. And then we're going to put this onto 2 bands, and that's all we need to make for our tail. Nice thick tail. So these are last set, and it has 2 in it. And then we're going to come around to the back of the body. I'm going to take these off of my hook for a minute. Put my hook under a couple of bands, kind of near his rear here. I'll just put it under maybe these 4. Pull the bands that we had on the hook that we've got for the leg through. And then we're going to stretch these out and reach them over the tail. So pop the tail through those bands. And slide it to the bottom. If you want, you can position the tail a little more controlled if you want to. Again, hook it through somewhere and use another band to secure it there. And there, we are done making our dino. You can cut off the black hair pieces. Make sure you've got your eyes drawn on. Show you the 2 versions, and yeah, I hope you'll check out the rest of my Flintstone set, and thank you for watching.